Black and blue, I crawl along the wreckage of what now is gone. Back to you to fight another day. I'll go on and on and on and on. I'll face it, the demons I created with every last part of me. The pain will fade and I'll go on and on and on and on. Black and blue, I crawl to you. Black and blue, I crawl to you.
We're live.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to our another suffering of Cartoon Network Part
Welcome
2.
Yes, and back when we left off, but let's preface this. Back when we left off around 2004, at the start of the Cartoon Network City era, and
Yeah,
here's go ahead, Tix.
We left off with Foster's. We finished off with Foster's, and now we're heading through the city of... Yeah.
Exactly.
Here are some honorable mentions.
Yes. Secret Mountain Fort Awesome.
Which that was a stupid show because like it was kind of random, and that's how it got the idea of the creator making Uncle Grandpa as a show too.
Okay, my gym partner's a monkey.
Yep.
Hi, Pooh.
Yumi. Hi, Puffy Yumi. Like, I was originally
Let's
gonna
see.
start the episode by talking about it, but here's the thing about Hi, Puffy Yumi. Although it's basically the Teen Titans theme song band getting their own show, whatever I would say about that show would be the exact same thing Tix said about Totally Spies. So,
Whoa.
what the fuck is that? And that's not even
was
a
a
Cartoon
joke.
Network. It's not even a quote-unquote Cartoon Network show. It was an anime
Johnny
that
Test.
Toonami aired. We're gonna talk about Johnny Test later. So,
Yeah, but what about also we should mention of the Canadian shows. Some of them were terrible and some of them bad. We're gonna talk about one in main focus is Johnny Test. But like, anyone remember Garage Band?
yeah, I remember that show. It was, like, it was total drama-ish, but I don't really remember watching it.
And also there was...
It was alright.
Something Nick mentioned once, something called Almost Naked Animals.
Oh no! Don't you dare talk about that. Also, Sidekick
I
as well,
had to
made by the
mention
same
it.
studio.
That's why it's in dishonorable mentions.
Yeah, the reason
Yeah,
why we're
also,
doing these
Scary
honorable...
Squirrel.
Yep, that one. The reason that we're even doing these honorable mentions anyway is because we can't really cover every show, so we're just gonna cover the shows that we have an opinion on.
Okay,
Yes.
so what's the first thing that's on our list is Camp Laszlo.
Oh my god, Camp
Made by the
Laszlo.
creator of Rocko's Modern Life,
Yes.
Joe freaking Murray.
Yeah, and the thing about Camp Laszlo is that it feels like SpongeBob, mainly because it uses a lot of the same sound effects and music.
Even the actors too, like there's Mr. Lawrence,
Yeah.
the voice of Plankton. Tom
Kenny.
Kenny's there. Carl, but with the actors, they kind of have the same actors from Rocko's Modern Life, like Carlos Alzaraki.
Alice Rocky, yep, him.
Honestly, Camp Laszlo just reminds me of like, it looks like it's if SpongeBob was thrown in a camp, which on Paramount
With
Plus,
Rocko's
produced
Modern
those
Life
SpongeBob in a
characters.
camp.
Huh. Like, just imagine, like, they literally plagiarized plots from Camp Laszlo and Camp Coral.
Yeah, I
Well,
can
like-
already
well,
see
like-
the lawsuits coming.
Well, I feel like it's a mix between like SpongeBob with the effects and just basically like the whole entire plots and like designs. Kind of like, it's just a mix between Rocko's Modern Life and SpongeBob if they were in camp.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And owned by Cartoon Network, running alongside faces such as the Eds and Fosters and Kids Next Door. Unfortunately, I don't think Camp Laszlo ran that long.
Only ran for like 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 2006 to 2008.
Yeah. Well, it had ended. Well,
Yeah.
It was a cameo appearance in the ending. It had Heifer.
Yeah, apparently, at the end of Camp Laszlo, it was revealed that Heifer from Rocko's Modern Life was the head of Camp Kidney all along.
Ah,
With the same
Whoa.
voice, Tom Kenny.
Voice and everything.
Yes.
Oh my
basically,
God.
basically Heifer's whole entire fur of his skin just, I don't know what happened to it.
It just kind of melted.
Yeah.
That's
it's
because
like
he was out of the
after-
public eye for 12 fucking years.
Yeah, after not beating it, after Rocco's Smart Life ended, he decided, all right, then give me shit on my hair, so I don't know what to do in my life.
Yeah, but the thing is, steers don't grow hair.
He's not a steer, he's a cow.
Heifer's not a cow. If you
Yeah, he
cow,
is. Is he
I
a
don't-
cow? He's a bull,
but he
technically.
doesn't have any udders.
Yeah,
He's a
but then
bull.
again, like, he's a bull. Not unlike Otis, who's like a fucking transgender male cow or some shit.
Yeah, so Heifer's a bull, he's a cattle, he's a male cow, which is a bull. Which that's supposed to happen in cartoons, like, cows are just females, that's what they should focus on in cartoons, not just thinking that cows are both male and female, like, what?
Honestly, it's just bringing back memories. It's like all I know about Camp Laszlo is that it does have the cylinder Joe Murray's. Like Laszlo's mouth looks like a banana, even though he's a monkey.
Yes, like, the thing with cartoons is that it's often hard to tell what animal they're supposed to be. That happens a lot in cartoons.
Yeah, and I might like it had a unique style, and honestly, it should. It's just the fact that Joe Murray's cartoons weren't built to last for some reason.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, just like his one of his co-workers who eventually created a long show on a different on the same network, Rocket Small Life, went and then he just went to Cartoon Network to see if that show would have been long, but nope.
Okay, speaking of long shows, we have to go talk about the anomaly, the flashy, the scientifically, the idiotically Johnny Test.
Oh dear. Yep, Johnny Test. Johnny freaking Test with the freaking catchy ass theme song.
Oh, yes, Johnny Test. What I remember about Johnny Test is a lot of the people I knew, they hated it. Like, for some reason, especially Nick, which sadly he couldn't make it tonight. The thing about Johnny Test is, like, it was the first quote unquote Flash animated cartoon to actually have success in some way.
Only in Canada, I believe.
Yeah, what can you say about Johnny Test? It's if like Dexter's Lab and Family Guy and Jimmy Neutron, they had a massive three-way orgy and then took Adobe Flash and then made it a four-way and then they somehow made Johnny Test.
Yeah, basically the show was just kind of random, like, I don't know, the villains were kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Supposedly Johnny Test was a hero, a superhero, I don't know in
And
what way he was a superhero.
And the hero Johnny Test has the most annoying voice ever.
Oh yeah, James Arnold Taylor.
Like he's
I'm back, and I assume you're talking about Johnny Test right now.
Yes,
just over
James Arnold Taylor's voice when he does Johnny Test.
Yeah, oh my god, Johnny Test. Like, I remember loving the show growing up, because I mainly loved anything having to do with, like, science and stuff like that. But here's the thing
we got other shows that can
really
Fill the
pull that
gap.
off.
like Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, the thing with Johnny Test is that it's a subpar ripoff of Dexter's Lab, to say the least. Like, looking back now, it's just the most annoying show on Earth.
Yeah, and the thing about like I said, it also has Family Guy in it because you have that dog that talks.
Although Dookie wasn't really anything like Brian. Dookie was more
Duke
like...
is not that of an asshole. He's not that of an asshole. He's more of a...
He was more of a laid-back kind of character.
Okay.
But he's still kind of like the straight man of the situation, so I guess your comparison's valid.
So he's sort of like the voice of reason.
Yeah, Dookie is supposed to be the voice of reason in the whole show.
Oh boy, and it's funny that the two sisters are the scientists. It's like
Twins.
it's like they try to flip expectations, but it's
But
still kind of
that didn't really happen.
Yeah, and also I don't like dad. Like the dad makes him look like a coward. They make him look like I don't know.
You coward, you look ridiculous, and you. Oh my god.
The idiot dad trope.
Although he's not really the idiot dad, he's more like the overprotective, fuck you, you don't exist dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all I have to say about Johnny Test.
Johnny Test is just terrible. Was just a terrible show, in my opinion. In terms
Me
of
too. I mean, I loved the show when I was a kid, but looking back now, I realize it's terrible.
Didn't it have like 6 seasons?
Yeah, it lasted so long. Like,
Yeah.
it had a long run.
Yeah, although unlike SpongeBob, it wasn't really their golden boy at all. It was just kind of there in the background.
So that's basically how Teen Titans Go is going to be. Probably 9 years or 10 years. I don't know.
Honestly, they can't afford. We're not there yet, Tony. We got quite a few more shows to get before we talk about that thing. Okay, now we have to talk about a group of shows, like the entire series and spin-offs of something that everyone knows called Total Drama.
Oh boy, Total Drama. Man, I love that show. I mean, Total Drama was the show that introduced me to the concept of reality shows. And I fucking loved every second of it. Like, I was just hyped for every single episode of Total Drama Island growing up.
Yeah, but later on, the show had more and more seasons with different contestants. I know it was still right, but like after that, it decided after All Stars. I don't know. After there was All Stars, then there was another series too. After All Stars, after those 2 series, they decided. I don't know what to do with the series, and later they decide. I'll go ahead.
And they did the fucking and they did the whole fucking daycare thing now, which they're stuck on all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The thing about Total Drama is that parody is one of the biggest reality shows out there, Survivor, because and honestly, there are many other Survivor things. Like the concept of Survivor is pretty cool. And to parody with a cartoon is pretty ambitious.
And it was so ambitious because, like, a good design trope in cartoons is that you're supposed to have all the characters have a unique silhouette. So the reason why you see Total Drama's art style and why it's so weird is that they have to make 22 characters recognizable by silhouette at once. And honestly, I think that's impressive.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to a silhouette challenge when we talk about the ending of this thing, but don't worry. So Total Drama is a very anomaly series. Now, when I think of anomalies, I think of a lot of things. Actually, I can think of 10 things. Wait a minute. Ben 10.
Oh boy, Ben 10. Like, here's what I remember of Ben 10. Like, I remember Ben 10 being a merchandise juggernaut, but I don't remember getting into Ben 10 at all.
I do remember Ben 10. Ben 10 was one of the other anime-styled animations that went alongside with Totally Spies and Teen Titans. I remember the trio being featured together, like in succession on the TV guide.
Yeah, like, they would often air those shows in a block because they were considered their action shows.
Yes, and with Ben 10, well, you get to see Tara Strong play Gwen. Ugh, Gwen. And then it's basically like if Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh had a baby, and where the hell is that age?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Maybe GH is not necessarily interested in this topic. He's probably preparing for the next episode, MLP.
Yeah,
And we gotta get
was-
Zorado and DG in, like,
Yeah, that's
as
why.
fast as possible.
Yeah, that's why I was preparing for this episode for a certain subject at the end, which I'm not going to spoil for the audience yet. Okay, so Ben 10, the original Ben 10. We're going to talk about the rest of it later because there's a lot of Ben 10.
Yeah. But like Ben 10, like original 10 aliens. But after that, yeah, you know what's gonna happen in the later spin-offs. But let's just say that Ben 10, the original Ben 10, was okay.
It did its job. It actually was a nice show. The problem was it was a vehicle for merchandise. Because
Yeah, merchandise like for merchandise for Ben 10 was super high in sales. Like
I
every
do
kid would just want to watch, would just want the Omnitrix
Omnitrix
watch.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God.
that's apparently why you see Ben 10 still going on to this day in some form or another.
And the thing about
Somehow.
Ben 10 is that, like, Cartoon Network had this mindset of ever since the Powerpuff Girls, where they could market their characters. But we're gonna get to that. Okay, now we have to go and take the moon. You take the moon.
And then you
then we
take the moon, and you
sun.
take the moon, and you take the moon.
We're going. Let's eat some chowder.
Yes, apparently not Despicable Me, but Chowder. Chowder, I loved Chowder as a kid, and also too, my favorite part about that show were the fourth wall jokes, especially considering that famous joke where they had to get the animation back.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, Chowder was a good show that just got ended quickly after just 2 years.
and it was created by C.H. Greenblatt.
Who also created a show on Nickelodeon, Harvey Beaks.
Yeah, watch our Nickelodeon video.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing about Chowder is that, like, it's really weird. It's like, C.H. Greenblatt was good at making weird things, and afterwards, Harvey Beaks also he tried to make weird things. The issue was, in this series, unlike Nickelodeon, I don't think C.H. Greenblatt was tortured.
Yeah, he wasn't. C.H. Greenblatt had a lot of fun working on Chowder, and I think it's this show that started Cartoon Network's weird obsession with stop motion they had for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now with Chowder was more like a gross out show, and it had a lot of quirks that made it like unique among the Cartoon Network lineup.
Yeah, and especially you also, because it had that weird thing with the backgrounds where, like, some textures on the characters wouldn't move with the characters. They would just be like still images.
Yeah.
And I always found that to be pretty weird about the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think
Oh.
I care too much about visuals, it's just because I'm a visual guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Chowder, like I said, like along with other shows I know, cartoons, that show should have been there for a little while, just like how some shows in other networks, like for example, Invader Zim. You remember how Invader Zim only just lasted like a season?
Yeah, but the thing with Chowder is that C.H. Greenblatt was actually able to end the show properly, with Chowder Grows Up.
And unlike Harvey Beaks, he didn't get shut down halfway through the second season, and I actually saw the rest of the second season on demand, and he actually did end Harvey Beaks properly. It's just he never got a chance to air the damn thing.
My god!
Well, hold on, let's see if he couldn't enter. So, did Harvey Beaks end in like 2017 or 16?
The end of 2017. It's just
Yeah, so basically, yeah, because so much airtime between other shows, which is, for example, Loud House and SpongeBob. That's why.
They literally just crammed the rest of it onto Nicktoons.
Yeah, because Nickelodeon would just focus on the newly made Loud House.
And also they were trying to focus. Yeah, like literally when the Loud House hit, every other show became obsolete. Sanjay and Craig became obsolete. Red Winners became obsolete. Harvey Beaks became obsolete. They wanted to focus everything on their new cash cow.
Yep, Loud House was the first show to finally meet that fucking SpongeBob standard, and guess what? It's not a new SpongeBob.
Yeah, it really is. I
So what also coincidence that the creator of the Loud House also was working on the shows that were already dying on Cartoon Network, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of a coincidence.
Didn't he work on Johnny Test too?
Yeah,
No,
for the
he did
first
not.
season. Chris Savino did direct a lot of the episodes for Johnny Test in the first season.
But not
Oh.
the ending of the seasons, not the ending season. I mean, like, he's the one that just works on the dying shows most of the time,
The
when
theory
the
is
creator
Yeah, and then
leaves the show.
And even then, with the Loud House, Chris Savino blew it in the third season due to legal things.
Yeah,
Really?
although Chris Savino does have some kind of legacy in the Loud House, despite his workplace quote-unquote behaviors.
Yeah, but like him working, like I said, that's the fact that he just worked in the last seasons of Cartoon Network shows that were popular, like Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab.
Well, he did redeem himself until what happened. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like he probably said, "I can't take it anymore," or something like. Actors,
So he groped
actors
some
and
emphasis.
yeah, like some creators can crack under that type of pressure. Like I'm guessing that's why why the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab ended, because he didn't want to work on it anymore. Because two big franchises working on it at the same time, that's not a feasible thing some person can do. Now, speaking of things that are, I mentioned that chatter had could be gross at times. Here's a show that's all gross. Flapjack.
Oh
Well,
boy, Flapjack. I mean,
Well, the show wasn't that bad. It just looked weird.
yeah, Flapjack was one of the weirdest shows I ever seen. Like, I do want to talk about this one episode where Knuckles had this candy addiction, and that actually creeped me the fuck out. Like, that was scary.
When I first saw the show, when I heard Knuckles' voice, it's like, hey, that's the Flying Dutchman.
And you'd be correct, because he's the same voice actor.
Oh yeah, God, he sounds just like the Flying Dutch. I'm like, why?
I mean, that voice does actually fit better on Knuckles than the Flying Dutchman, in my opinion.
No, there is no substitute for the Flying Dutchman. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Oof.
Now, the thing
Yes,
about
Flapjack. Yeah, the thing about Flapjack is like it just had a weird plot. That's
The
what
way
it
I-
had.
yeah, the way I see it is, my vision is Flapjack is literally Sanjay and Craig before Sanjay and Craig, but in the water, in a pirate theme.
Yeah.
At least it was better than Sanjay and Craig.
Yeah, at least it was better than Sanjay and Craig, because Flapjack at least had some clever jokes and really clever visuals. Especially
also
with the candy
good,
wife.
good animation. And yeah.
Creepy
Me too.
visuals.
Yeah,
it
very-
also was a good show. Also, coincidentally, the next two shows are two creators that worked on Flapjack. We're gonna talk about it after this.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
thing with
so-
Verve Van Orman is that he ended up working on Sanjay and Craig, and his show had a lot of people that would go on to create so many other shows for Cartoon Network and other companies.
Yeah, Thrupp Van Orman also worked on Home, The Adventures of Tip and O on Netflix.
Damn.
Yeah, so the next two shows are created by the two people, are created by people that worked on Flapjack, like Pendleton Ward and J.G. Quintel.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Now
first-
let's talk
ahead.
about the big thing that made Cartoon Network kick Nickelodeon in the balls, say you made the fucking wrong choice of your life.
Yes. From Flapjack director Pendleton Ward comes Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. Yeah, so much came out of that.
Yeah, I first remembered watching the premiere, like the day it premiered, and I was like, this is a very interesting show, and guess what? It ended up defining the culture of the early 2010s. Like, looking back at the early seasons, I see so much of what ended up becoming popular online.
All those
Yeah.
faces.
Also, characters: Finn, Jake,
the
let's
Ice
see.
King,
Bubblegum,
Bubblegum,
Marceline,
Yeah,
we got someone who has an addiction with the character.
Yep, Orion just wants to fuck Marceline in the ass.
Also,
He doesn't really know that I'm the king of cartoon waifus.
Also, I know that like Ice King is a much better version and use of Tom Kenny's Mayor of Townsville voice, because I always hated the Mayor of Townsville, and I'll get to that later.
Oh boy.
Now, thing about Adventure,
Yeah.
it was so successful. I think it had 10 seasons.
It had like 8 seasons actually.
Okay, 8 seasons. Like I'm hard, and many people were upset that it didn't get a movie.
Yep, although Adventure Time did end up getting somewhat of a movie in the finale.
Yeah, and I can't believe that, like, there was so much about Adventure Time that just, like, everyone loved it. People made parodies. Like, I remember there was an entire Smosh episode about Adventure Time. There was so many people loving it, like, and I never understood why, because I was so ignorant and blissfully unaware, trying to cling, saying, oh, Nickelodeon's still the best network around, because I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah, the thing with Adventure Time was that it was so influential on the industry. Like, there's a before Adventure Time point and after Adventure Time. Like, especially with, like, it was that show that popularized, like, rubber hose arms, for example, again.
Yeah, rubber hose arms. Yeah, think about Adventure. Yeah, and Adventure Time wasn't the only show that boosted Cartoon Network back out of it. Let's talk about a show that's sort of just regular.
Regular show.
Which also was created by one of the people that worked on Flapjack as well,
J.G.
J.G.
Quintel.
Quintel. Yeah. Regular show was just one of those shows that were like, it was like, the Family Guy was actually, you know...
If Family Guy was actually it was actually good again, and for kids.
Yes, the thing
Yeah.
with regular show was that it's about two slackers, Mordecai and Rigby. And they eventually get in these weird-ass shit that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're like 22-year-olds, 23-year-old male, 23-year-old people that just, you know, 23-year-olds, I mean, that
Yeah.
just have a job, but they slack all the time, so they always get threatened to get fired by Benson. Get fired!
Yes, the perfect millennial show.
I also
Right.
remember. I remember a lot of things from that type of show. I remember a YouTube Cooper by the name of Master of Zorwalk's The Irregular.
Yeah, I know. My
We're
guild
gonna
cheese deluxe. Yeah, you said that. You
Yeah,
said that
we're
so
gonna
many
talk about
times, I
YouTube
know.
poops later in a later episode coming this April.
Now,
Yeah, so the thing with regular shows, like its first seasons were like great in terms of humor.
Yeah, those first seasons are just classic. Like, you see these catchphrases and they just slap. Like these jokes and
Yeah.
everything, they just slap these days.
yeah,
Later, the
like-
show got interesting when they did to like story plots, like when they had like this story plot between, you know, Mordecai's relationship situation, you know, the
You know, with
park
Margaret-
hiring a intern.
yeah. Didn't regular show have a movie?
Yeah,
Yes, it did, but it was based. This was based. I don't know, around the time. Like this is this is before. I don't know.
Yeah, like the regular show movie didn't come out in theaters because of the failure of the Powerpuff Girls movie. Like, why do we keep mentioning that show?
Because the Powerpuff Girls. I'm gonna get to that later. Trust me, it'll all become clear later into this episode.
Thank
So
God.
clear. Yeah, so regular show was a very successful show in Cartoon Network's steed. Now,
Yep, it had. If what I recall, it actually had just as much seasons as Adventure Time. 8 seasons.
Yeah, and also because of the season, they had a huge storyline. Even in the last seasons, when they're stuck in space because of the whole entire scientist experimental thing that Mr. Mailer did, the owner of the park, just ended up teaming up with the scientists, and they thought it was a good idea. Just, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't really around for that. Like, I stopped watching Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon around 2013, 2014, so I wasn't really there for that.
Yes, you really missed out on the seasons when Thomas was around, and later you probably missed. I'm not gonna. You want a spoiler or no?
Might as well spoil it because I don't really watch TV nowadays.
Yeah. So like, what happened to Thomas is like, it was revealed that he was a spy, a Russian spy, which kind of angered some fans of the character because, you know, the character was cool and all, and voiced by Roger Craig Smith.
Ooh.
we're gonna get to a
But-
show about him soon.
Yeah, but like, that's like, I like the storyline though, but like just after you stop using Thomas as a character, just really made me sad. But like, it is what the show is. Later, its final episode was pretty great. Like in two-parter, it was like a two-parter where there was a battle.
Mm.
Yeah, that was one, and then it was a sad ending. Pops died.
Oh my god. Rip that poor man.
I remember that there was everyone on the internet was blabbing about it. Especially, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that other guy. Okay, now with regular show, you know, the hype about regular show is that there's many things that made a certain gumball machine mad. Mad.
Yeah,
Mad.
he had like anger management disorder, whatever
No!
he had.
No, you don't get it. Mad. We're talking about mad now.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about regular show, but yeah, Mad was basically Carson Never decided to bring in a kid-friendly version of the classic comedy skit show Mad TV, but instead of being a live action skit comedy skit show, it was just basically just segments with just parodying every show
Yeah.
and making fun of it.
Yeah, the thing about the Mad TV show is that, like, it looked unappealing. Like, everything was flash animation. Like, it didn't look right.
Not really, not only most of the time, but like most segments, it had like stop motion animation and 3D animation as well into it. So basically, all blends of animation into the whole entire segments of every episode. Even before the show, there was a segment. It was like a paper news reporter.
Ooh. Yeah, like Mad, like here's my thoughts on Mad. Mad was a very weird show. Like it really I love the parodies that they did. For example, like I remember they would do something like 39 Blues Clues or something like that.
Oh yeah. Also, let's see. Rainbow Dash and Bernstein.
My god. I vaguely remember that. Oh my god.
I also.
Oh yeah. What about iGodly? Basically, iCarly, but it's a Spanish version of iCarly.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. Also,
remember-
there's
I remember
one parody I remember between Adventure Time and the Avengers. Instead of Adventure Time, it's Avenger Time.
Oh my god, I remember that as well.
I remember one skit. I remember it's called Yogi EO. It's Yogi.
Oh yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi Bear.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Damn, like
Basically, they mixed Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yugi Bear together.
And saw what happened.
Yeah.
And
And
also-
then my favorite segments every time a Mad episode was on is Spy vs. Spy.
Yeah, Spy vs. Spy was a cartoon strip that appeared on Mad Magazine, and they put it on the show, and they actually did a really good job.
Yeah, every time. I always voted for the black spy more than the white spy.
Yeah, I remember that too. Although, did you know that Matt was actually banned from my house at one time?
What happened?
Basically, at 8:30, right before Adult Swim came on, Mad came on, and my mother was like, "Oh my god, like Mad's pretty much Adult Swim, dude. Like, come on, like you see the cartoon in the corner, like fucking bitch." Like she said, Mad is pretty much Adult Swim. Like, oh my fucking god.
Not really. Mad is pretty much a kid-friendly version of the Mad TV skit show, but it has robot chicken elements in it.
Yeah, try telling that to my fucking mom back then, and I try to argue with her all the time, but she apparently fucking banned it, and I didn't watch much of the show after that. Although I did sneak in and watch a couple episodes here and there.
Yeah, so like that show had a weird and it perfect way, just ended just as it ends.
yes. So with Mad, we're gonna come to some. This next show we're going to talk about is arguably the second most popular thing and long-running thing on Cartoon Network.
Which already ended recently.
Yeah, the second most popular thing on Cartoon Network that's still running.
The Amazing World of Gumball!
Oh, I remember seeing commercials for this thing. It looked fucking weird.
Yeah, like
Oh.
when the show first premiered back in 2011, I watched the first episode. I remember my sister coming in when the principal or whatever was dancing. She was like, "I can't believe you're watching that." Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
how
the
weird the
principal-
show
oh,
looked
yeah,
back then.
What about the teacher, Miss Simeon? Freaking.
Oh, her, like, oh my god, like, she was fucking weird as well, like...
Imagine, I would have been scared if one of my parents just came in and checked on me while I was watching. Like, what the hell? Why are you watching a chimpanzee with boobs?
Oh my god, like, that's how my mom would have reacted.
Yeah, another
Yeah,
thing.
so the only thing I didn't get about the show is like Gumball having a rabbit dad.
Yeah, even then, but then again, he has a rabbit sister, so
Yeah.
I don't think that's weird to him.
He has a goldfish that talks and has legs.
So, like, in this universe, fucking anything can happen. Fucking anything.
Yeah.
And the only thing when I think of Gumball is I think of Trudermark, the proven pedophile.
Oh boy. And about Gumball, the later episodes though, they were very different from the early episodes, even coming down to the character designs.
Yeah, they changed their eyeballs in the later episodes, in the later seasons.
Yeah, like originally
Like,
Gumball had like bean eyes, but later they just straight up changed to circular eyes.
Yeah, and then Banana Joe.
Yeah.
They made him look, instead of making him look realistic, they made him look, just 3D.
Huh. I mean, that's something to, change to reduce the budget, I guess. And what's even weird about these new character designs is that the stock photos just straight up look like Family Guy characters.
Also,
It straight up gives off Family Guy vibes.
Well, basically the set and the city of the show is basically, they're pictures of some houses in California,
now
Go ahead.
in Northern California.
here's another thing I was gonna mention, DSim. This show also popularized stock photos and stock stuff in cartoons.
Yeah.
Look
Oh
at
my
you,
god.
breadwinners.
Oof. Yeah,
Yeah, like-
and about those stock photos of the pictures, you can actually look on Google Maps and find Gumball's house and see the reviews.
Yeah, yeah, the house, like in the show, the house surprisingly looks big, but in real life, it does have stairway or attic or anything like that, like in the real life.
Yeah, like just imagine how real humans look in the show. Guess what? I don't even have to imagine because they actually show a real human in the finale.
Oh.
Yeah, and also like even the high school too. You could look up the high school. It's Abraham Lincoln High School, and that's the school. It's in San Francisco. That's the school that the middle school is based on, aka junior high.
Ooh. Like
The
I
thing I
haven't.
don't get about the show is like the sisters in junior high, even though she's like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Although they probably just have like some kind of complex system where elementary, junior high, and high are just one building, and Anais just ends up walking through the hallway sometimes.
Yeah, I'm. That's another anomaly I'm going to talk about later. Yeah, and the thing about Gumball is that Gumball was just part of this big success train that Adventure Time and regular show had.
Yeah, like by around 2012, Cartoon Network was seen as the messiah of the whole animation industry.
Yeah, well, Nickelodeon just died and
Look
died
at this.
more.
Let me see this.
Also, do you
Wow.
Look, that's the
high
school.
Sweet.
and also Gumball's getting a movie in the theaters.
Sweet.
That's
Sweet.
Like, that's the first time that happened since Teen Titans Go.
We're not there yet.
Well, we're gonna talk about, but that movie, like the weird thing about having a movie, I don't know.
Yeah, the weird thing about having a movie is that, people are gonna be afraid to go in the theaters even after the pandemic's over.
Yeah, so now we have to go to a certain show about a certain kid, whose friends are Garnet, and her, and Steven!
And around here, I'm just gonna drop out unless I'm gonna make some quick comments here and there, so take it away, guys.
Carter, you know how boy characters, little boy characters have like actual boys as voice actors, and later
Yeah.
they change their voices because of puberty. In Steve Universe, that's not the case.
Yeah, in Steven Universe, there is actual aging going on. Like, that's recently happened in the Loud House, where in the fifth season they actually start to age them up a little.
Yeah, but it's still the same. They still have the same voice actor.
Yeah,
But and
another
Lincoln's, I think the problem with Lincoln's character is like every time the guy changes his voice actor every time, all because of puberty.
I swear they had to change him every season. But the thing with Steven Universe, they didn't do that. They had Steven grow up
Neither
and
Adventure Time
develop.
as well. Adventure Time as well. Like they kept the same voice actor on and on for Finn.
Yeah, and also with Steven Universe, speaking of Adventure Time, Rebecca Sugar worked on Adventure Time, who
Oh
created
yeah,
Steven.
people try to assume what was a record sugar, a lesbian, whatever.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah,
thing about Steven Universe is that it's quite a wild train ride. Like you cannot watch a singular episode and not get everything that's going on. It's a must binge show. It's just
yeah, basically a binge show to binge watch, but at least that show was great, but it had an interesting storyline.
okay then. The thing Steven Universe ran for like 5 seasons. Also had like a 1 season spin-off, Steven Universe Future, which honest and Steven Universe also had a movie, which didn't get put in the theaters, even though fans said it
Luckily,
was the best thing ever.
like Cartoon Network just has a fear that they're gonna fail miserably in money, or not. But like the Powerpuff Girls was great and all, was good and all. But like the thing is that it was a failure because of like ticket sales. That's why.
Yeah, it was a failure because it failed financially. And trust me, we need to reel all those stuff in, Antonio, because okay, so Steven Universe, it was a great show. It was just at the end, many people were sad to see it go. Oh no.
Yeah, well, if keeping it so long will not be a good option if they're gonna keep it so long.
No, 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 no. I meant go.
Oh,
Teen
oh
Titans
no.
Go.
Yes, the on one like we thought people were excited about a new reboot of Teen Titans, but they thought it was gonna be way more kind of the same as the show, but nope, they made it look.
The thing about Teen Titans, I remember seeing commercials for when it was going to premiere, and the thing is that I gawked at it. I thought like, this won't last. Oh no, how I was wrong. Like, oh my god, it was so bad. And I've seen the show. I've seen several episodes of the show, mostly for the case of YTPs. But even still, most of the show is just garbage. And it's got like the worst type of garbage in Teen Titans Go. If you want anything to say about Teen Titans Go, DSM, you said you had something. You said you had something? With Teen
Um,
Yeah, with
Greg
Teen
Sipes.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg Sipes, Beast Boy. Like seriously, the whole show is just a mockery. And honestly, it's a mystery why Cartoon Network is still running it and making new episodes for it. Oh, I know
Because their
why.
own excuse, the only reason is like, ooh, kids love that show.
Yeah, thing is, we don't. And this is the one show I was glad to see Mr. Enter claw his gigantic claws into and yell at it.
I hope Nostalgia Critic does that the same.
Thing about Teen Titans Go is that like it mocks the critics that try to gawk at it. I remember that like Teen Titans Go is and here's the thing about Teen Titans Go. It's Cartoon Network's most successful show, but the problem is it's not a Cartoon Network original show. It's a DC show and a Warner Brothers show.
Yeah.
which is even more sad because like having two other companies hold the actual rights to a show is one of the biggest things insults a company can have.
Like, because of that, Young Justice got canceled because the whole entire popularity of Teen Titans Go. Like, seriously, why would you pick a immature show more than a serious show, kids? Seriously?
Yeah, kids nowadays like they like Teen. The only reason you'd watch Teen Titans is one, you're just looking for some random show and you like the characters, and you watch the original Teen Titans and you want to see your dreams get crushed. Now I'm gonna say this: at least they have the original cast, which is going to be important in a topic I'm gonna talk about later. Teen Titans
Well,
Go
yeah.
going. It's in its 7th season, and it has a movie to its name. The reason why Teen Titans Go got a movie is simple. It's not Cartoon Network's movie. It is DC. It's a DC movie, which DC has many successful movies to its name. So Cartoon
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah, that's why in Wikipedia it says that the Powerpuff Girls is the only Cartoon Network produced movie to be released in theaters. They'd say it about Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Yeah, that's because it was a DC movie and Warner Brothers. Like they were the ones that took the gamble. Cartoon Network was like, meh, knock yourselves out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Teen Titans Go ran so doesn't mean it's not gonna be the longest running original Cartoon Network show. It's gonna be the longest running you know syndicated
Brothers.
show.
Yeah, like the real longest running Cartoon Network show is Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
Yeah, so that's still gonna be that's still gonna belong to the Eddie. Not to Teen Titans Go. Only kids are gonna say that because they're stupid as I don't know what to say, but they're kind of
Dumb.
Yeah,
yeah.
there are many arguments that counteract the things are for kids. There are some. Yeah, I remember Mr. Enter said it pretty clearly. They like to build large statues of la 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 la. I'm not listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an example of a kid. You told a kid, "Hey, Teen Titans Go is not it sucks." They're like, "Shut up, you grandpa." You just get pissed.
No, this is how they would say it. Shut up, you boomer.
Bummer.
Call you.
What? You be like, but we were like, if we're gonna be respond to like, wait until you're older, you're gonna regret your decision.
Yeah, and the thing
Exactly.
is that the one reason Teen Titans Go banks on is kids have no patience and they love to make in. You want to know how they do it with merchandise? Because yeah, I remember I had all 5 Teen Titans Go plushes at one point. I remember I had a Mario stuffed animal show and Raven was the simp that wanted to rape Mario. And that's a story for another day.
What?
Yeah, so now with Teen Titans Go, it's still fucking going. It's never gonna stop.
Yes.
Teen Titans Go is Cartoon Network SpongeBob.
Well,
Oddly
not
enough,
really,
like-
because like it's not original show though, but they call it the original show because
Yeah,
don't
although, here's the thing though, Cartoon Network never really had a SpongeBob until Teen Titans Go. I mean, there was Johnny Test, but that was always kind of a background show.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
they have a SpongeBob, and the thing about that is they're never gonna end it because they're never gonna end it just because. They don't have a reason never to end it. Honestly, I'm gonna say this: you know what would have been Cartoon Network's SpongeBob if they actually executed it that way? The Powerpuff Girls would have been would have been Cartoon Network SpongeBob.
Yeah, and it was actually
Yeah.
almost their SpongeBob. Like, they originally greenlit a 7th season, but Craig McCracken said no. Like, it was almost their SpongeBob, but Craig McCracken stepped in just in time. And now they're trying to make
Yeah.
it their SpongeBob in any other way they can.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe Craig McCracken told Chris Savino, no, let's not continue.
Yeah.
Honestly, they could have just and it could have been completely different. This opens a lot of alternate universes. Like, what if Powerpuff Girls was still at SpongeBob? Like I would like to see what kind of fucked up things could happen to the girls in that point. Then again, I've seen plenty of that. But let's reel back to Teen Titans Go in its current standpoint. Let's say Waffles.
Oh God.
How about I got one? How about I got one? Fart jokes. Oh, I know.
Alvaro,
How
yeah.
about
Well,
how about
funny thing. Go ahead.
yeah? How about let's think of another. How about Robin being an incomparable jerk? How about Beast Boy and Cyborg being a two-headed moron? How about Raven actually being goofy and out of character? How about Starfire being a dumbass, not knowing common sense because she heard it or she can't speak right?
Yeah, but speaking of stuff, you know, Teen Titans Go has been having a lot of nominations, and he never won a single nomination.
That's
Yeah.
that's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah,
And
he was
and
the only kids. The only reason they get nominations because kids, freaking, you know.
Eat that shit up.
Yeah, and then when they get nominated, they're not the best show. They don't win anything, and they're nominated again for the Kids' Choice Awards,
SpongeBob
which I
always
doubt
wins.
it. I
Yep,
doubt it because
SpongeBob always wins the Kids' Choice Award. The one year Loud House was an anime, I actually voted for the Loud House, but
well, you
no,
know, there's this one
no.
time SpongeBob lost the Kids' Choice Award. That was 2008 with Avatar, but that was the only time Avatar was ever nominated. And then after that, SpongeBob went again with their longest streak.
Ugh, it's sickening. I never watch the Kids' Choice Awards anymore because it's fucking rigged. Also, they take out all the cool awards because they have to save those for the Kids' Choice Sports Awards.
Yeah, because, like, the last Kids' Choice Awards I ever watched was, like, they just literally just dumped half the awards during the commercial breaks. I was watching it during their online stream, and they just dumped half the awards,
Which one was
including favorite cartoon.
2014?
Yeah, the last KCAs I watched was 2013, and during that one, they just dumped half the awards during the commercial breaks. Like, they just dumped off the awards at the end, including favorite cartoon.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
the most important one.
Yeah,
yeah. At least, like the thing about it, like Josh Duhamel, the host of 2013 kids show, was like, "Ooh, SpongeBob's in the trip." Like that's a lie.
Also,
You
here's
know,
the
that's a freaking lie. Like the
Yeah.
voice, probably Tom Kenny or the other crew were just busy. And Tom Kenny was there, but he was just busy doing his job as the voice
yeah,
announcer. But after that, he stopped being the voice announcer.
kind of weird.
Yeah,
and
but
it's
like,
funny, yeah.
yeah, like Cartoon Network shows get put into the Kids' Choice Awards, even if
God, this has just turned into Nickelodeon 2.0.
Oof. Alright, now let's get back to Cartoon Network. Let's talk about Boom. Sonic
Sonic.
Boom.
Oh boy, we got a surprising treat for you. The thing about Sonic Boom is that it's actually a good show, surprisingly. To me, it's what Teen Titans Go should have been, but wasn't. Like, it's five friends hanging out, doing things, and using superpowers. And to defeat Eggman, who's still voiced by Mike Pollock, and he always made me laugh.
yeah, he's like the only few actors that actually got the roles back after the four kids voice distribution deal ended. But like
Yeah,
he's the only voice actor that didn't get replaced.
that's because everyone loved his Eggman. And Roger Craig Smith does a great job as Sonic. And here's the thing. Sonic is actually a good goofy character. He actually pulls off the fucking stick of being the goofy leader better than Robin ever could. And then you got Tails. Who's the smart one. Knuckles is the strong idiot. Amy is the feminist of the group. And then you have Sticks the Badger, who's voiced by Luna Loud. And, and she's the
You mean Nika Futterman?
yeah, Nika Fuderman. Like she's a mix. She sounds like a mix between Luna and Chum Chum, and it works because the show just feels nice. It feels like something that could have been. Do you know that it really only had one season, but then they actually had like an online poll somewhere where like, do you want us to do a second season? and everyone wanted them to do a second season, even though the game it's based on was long dead with the Wii U, which is impressive on how much people liked the show, even though the second season was pushed to Boomerang. People didn't care; they still wanted it. And there were even people who wanted a third season. A third season of a show that's based on one of the worst Sonic games ever made. What do you think of that? Isn't that like amazing? Like that's how interesting of a show it was. Because people just wanted a show about Sonic the Hedgehog. And they got 2 seasons worth of fun action. And there's a lot of fourth wall and there's a lot of fourth wall breaks and self-aware moments. I remember an episode where Sonic was abducted by a fan. He's like, "Let's see one of those fan fictions you wrote." Oh, Son Amy, spicy. Yes. Never would I think of Sonic referencing a fan fiction with his own voice. But enough about Sonic. Sonic Boom had a sad fate of being pushed to Boomerang after its second season. Because Teen Titans Go is better than you.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you, we love this show and we like to brag it on our cocks.
Now, speaking of merchandise and over-flanderization of said merchandise, we have to talk about Ben 10's many spin-offs. Because after the original show, and they decided to make another continuation of the show called Ben 10 Alien Force, which is basically Ben now already 16. Yeah, older.
Yeah, older, and his Omnitrix got destroyed, but he made a new one called the Ultimate Omnitrix, which had new aliens. But yeah, it was just the Ben 10 characters, now older, and they'd redesigned the aliens a little bit.
Then I think there was Ben 10 Ultimate Alien.
Yeah, basically the same as Alien Force, but now Benton's now a senior in high school, and all the aliens that you most have known in Alien Force turned to like super mega ultra form.
Yeah, and then there was Ben 10 Omniverse.
Omniverse, yeah, it just looked weird. Like Ben's design was so, I don't know, meh.
Off. Yeah, like they changed the design of Ben so much. And then there was the Ben 10 reboot, which was literally just Teen Titans Go, but with Ben 10 characters.
And it had the same cast. It had the same cast as the original.
Yeah, and the thing is that, just like with Teen Titans, Flash animation doesn't... to me at least, Flash animation does not work with Ben 10. Like
Ben 10 works more into like anime style animation if it's gonna be action.
Yeah, and they dumbed Ben down too. Like they dumbed everything down in that reboot. I remember it looked awful, and it's
during that time there was a Cloudy with the Chains of Meatballs show which didn't last that long.
If we ever talk about Netflix, we're gonna put that thing in there, like because honestly, it's on Netflix, so we might as well save it for Netflix.
All right, let's talk about clearance. The burgers are good. Chicken fries.
Burgers here are good. Chicken not good. Fries are good, but the soda pop's really good.
I only like the fries here. What? You don't like the burgers? Nope.
Talking about clearance.
Yeah, the ultimate nostalgia show.
Yeah, Clarence, like the first episode before they did an episode after the pilot. The pilot was different than the actual show's aired episode, but like the pilot was weird.
I also remember everyone making a YTP of the pilot.
No, it wasn't the pilot. The pilot wasn't the one where they go to the bird restaurant. It was a different one. That was the first ever considered second episode. It's considered the first, but
yeah, because they had the whole thing for free on their website. That's why.
Yeah.
Did you know that the first episode of Clarence is still on YouTube?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And you remember there's a poop Clarence has Ebola? Yeah. Basically, the pooper just recorded the whole entire episode via YouTube, and that's what he did because you can see the little watermarks, the little icons
I
right
made,
there.
I made a YTP of that Clarence episode once too, but it was shitty movie maker quality, and I don't want to talk about it.
And yeah, that Clarence poop was had a lot of hits, but it got taken down. But like apparently Ace doesn't like that poop.
Yeah, it was literally just the entire. It was more like one of those edit videos where, like, instead of doing effects, they just insert a bunch of swears and stuff. Like, it felt a lot more like that. Personally,
Yeah, so the show Clarence, and what like the episode started well, but later just got a bit meh.
the thing is, it just sort of existed. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrendous. It wasn't amazing. It was just the middle of the road, as middle as it possibly could be. It wasn't harming anyone. Yeah, I remember Sumo, another voice by Tom Kenny, just sounds like Mitch Michelson from the Powerpuff Girls. Oh fuck!
No. Sumo kind of sounds like that old lady from the chocolate episode in SpongeBob, like the old lady's mother, the one that kind of looks like just a rotten fish.
Oh yeah, you can't just wait for me to die, can
Chocolate. Did he just say chocolate?
Chocolate! Chocolate!
That's Mr. Lawrence. Chocolate? Did you just say chocolate?
Yeah, like, there's a reason we end up keep talking about Nickelodeon.
Yeah, because there's some, like, it's because, like, but pretty much the actors in Nickelodeon cartoon are pretty much the same voice actors in every freaking show.
Yeah, because a lot of people end up working for both networks at the same time.
Yeah, like, for example, like, I remember, I know Tom Kenny worked with Nickelodeon cartoon at the same time. Like, when Powerpuff Girls was airing, he also worked with SpongeBob, too, like, in a different schedule, which is kind of impressive.
And he played two different narrators.
Yeah. The sea. So flashy.
The city of Townsville. Now,
the city of Townsville.
Oh god, we keep referencing that over and over. That's the thing. When you think of Cartoon Network, well, at least if you're older, you think of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, and I also think of Dexter's Lab. Like, I think of the cartoons, not the new cartoons.
Yeah.
So
and years from now. Yeah, in years of now, when it's still airing, people are gonna think of Teen Titans Go whenever they think of Cartoon Network, because by that time, it's still gonna be airing. Now,
yeah, so Clarence didn't have a specific ending, it just ended as it ended, so
I know it had 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons, but after that, they don't care about the show no more, so after that, they decided, I don't know what to do with the show, but after Clarence, after Clarence ended, I don't know, like, there was a situation between the creator of Clarence, Skylar Page.
Yeah, it's very similar to the incident with Chris Savino, where he ended up groping some crew members. Like a dumbass.
Yeah, and the thing about... Uncle Grandpa... Yeah, and now we're gonna have to talk about everyone's favorite uncle, or grandpa. Uncle Grandpa.
Good morning!
Good morning!
Good morning. Now, the thing is...
That show was so fucking trash!
And they even had the fucking crossover Steven Universe.
Yeah,
like, what the hell? Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about Uncle Grandpa is it was partially created by Casey Alexander. If you don't know who Casey Alexander is, he wrote One Course Meal.
Yeah, although Casey Alexander wasn't a creator, he was a head writer.
Yeah, the creator of the show was the creator of Secret Fort Awesome Mountain.
Or some shit.
Yeah, like another show made by the same creator who made a disaster show which didn't last that long. For some reason, this show lasted way longer than that show.
That's because it capitalized on all the things going on in the 2010s. I also remember this show was also from a famous YouTube YouTuber, Dyke Iker, Krobo Productions, which maybe we'll react to that one of these days.
Oh yeah, and also so basically the show's just randomized. It's like if Problem Solvers was less,
flashy lights.
Yeah.
And all,
less seizures, but this show was so, I don't know. The freaking characters are just random. Like Mr. Gus is random, Pizza Steve's random,
the thing
the
about,
Tiger's random.
yeah, that's another stock photo of a tiger.
Yeah.
And the thing about Uncle Grandpa is simple. Like, it's one of those shows that makes up its own rules. And the thing is, we already have a prime example why that doesn't work. Take a look at Coconut Fred. Basically, it's just feels unstructured, and sure, it can tell a good episode with when it tries, but most of the time it's just like you're trying to figure out what's going on while you're staring at a bunch of bullshit with a guy who could take off his own head. Who else could take off his own head?
Oh god. Oh yeah, and then the weird moment where just Uncle Grandpa just does random stuff. It just look so disturbing.
Yeah, he sounds like a more retarded version of Patrick. And
What a coincidence! You remember the episode where about the ice cream king and SpongeBob?
I remember. I knew like that's Uncle Grandpa. They got Uncle Grandpa to be in a
Voice actor. You mean the voice actor, not the character. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
they
Yeah,
Yeah, they got him to be in the voice actor of Uncle
him.
Grandpa to be in a SpongeBob episode.
SpongeBob.
And
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Peter Braungart was. Yeah, he was there. He voiced the ice cream king.
yeah, and it's an interesting because like you could see people all these times were saying that he sounds like Patrick. Now he's in an episode of SpongeBob with Patrick.
Yeah, the voice actor, like he just brings out his Uncle Grandpa voice as the ice cream king,
Yeah,
and just I don't know.
that was an interesting episode because Patrick wasn't being a dick. So see how we keep going back when we're making these comparisons to some of these Cartoon Network shows is because some of them just aren't as interesting and can't hold a conversation as well as the Nickelodeon ones do.
All right, let's talk about We Bare Bears, which is a great show. I don't know why people have to complain about it. I think it's a great show.
We Bare Bears. What I know about We Bare Bears is that it's another slice of life show. This time about bears. Bears. And
Panda, Grizz.
don't mention pandas. No pandas.
What's funny about We Bare
What?
Bears, it's one of the few shows that actually did the whole social media thing right.
Yeah, and it also wasn't that cringe. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And actually got its own movie.
Yeah, which I like. I like We Bare Bears. It's not bad of a show. It's not bad than the other two. Not like the other show we talked about, Uncle Grandpa.
The thing about We Bare Bears is, to me, is it follows the same similarities as Clarence. Like it's a middle of the road show. Like it doesn't do anything good, it doesn't do anything bad, it's just there.
Yeah, well, We Bare Bears. It's just like I think the show is great. Like
It's just
I like the visuals, and I like how they go back in time when they're kids and later when they're already grown up bears.
oh wow, like man, like and thing didn't it how many seasons did it run for? 3?
I don't know. Let's see.
Hey.
Hold on. It ran for like 4 seasons.
Okay, 4. Like that's pretty good. Yeah, like in terms of We Bare Bears, it's a nice show. It's nice. That's the perfect word for it. It's nice. Now we gotta go to our last show. Okay, KO. Let's be heroes.
It was also a good show that should have been paid. We should have gotten more attention than Teen Titans Go like.
And
Teen
they
Titans
actually,
Go's like.
they
Go
actually
ahead.
did they actually did the crossover thing right.
Yeah, cause like OKKO Let's Be Heroes they actually had they had good ideas in terms of the creative stuff. Not Teen Titans Go, it's just the same thing. Fart jokes.
Ugh. Yeah, the thing about OKKO is that it's just another show, another superhero show that gets overshadowed on that network by the big five idiots and their pet worm. I forgot to mention
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think in the early episodes of OKKO Let's Be Heroes, they had the original voice of Kid Goku there.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but like this show was pretty. It's also a show that should have lasted longer too, but nope. The cartoon was like, let's just focus on this stupid show because we think it's so good.
Yeah, okay, decent. I think it's time to end the episode.
I like Jim Cummins. By the way, Jim Cummins was in OKKO too.
Oh wait. I'm getting a message. I'm getting a message.
Yeah, like,
Dick! Hold on, I got a message. I gotta share. Hold on.
one sec.
Yeah, I'm getting a message.
Alright, what is this?
Okay, that's it. I just wanted to play that. We're
All right.
forgetting about one of the worst things to ever happen. Remember how in the 2 weeks ago I said that cartoon Powerpuff Girls was literally the Cartoon Network SpongeBob if it had the chance? Well, I'm going to tell you about the few times where it tried to have that chance. There are 3 things I have to talk about as the big finale of this episode, so buckle yourselves in because it's going to get long.
Yep, this is gonna be the second half of the episode.
Okay, so let's talk about our first subject. The Powerpuff Girls 10th anniversary, which was late 2008, early 2009. Powerpuff Girls rule. The thing about Powerpuff Girls rule is that it was an interesting 22-minute episode because it was made and storyboarded and written by Craig McCracken himself. And it was the last thing he did before leaving the network. And the thing is, it was actually a great special. It actually wrapped the series up for some reason, the way the original show didn't.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, he just told Chris Savino, "Nope, that's not gonna be a perfect ending. Wait until if I decide to come back, I'll do a special."
Yeah, and the thing about the original show ended on an episode where Bubbles lost Octi.
Yeah, the last episode was produced by Chris Savino, and Chris Savino didn't know how to run the show that well.
Yeah, and the thing about Powerpuff Girls Rule is an interesting special because it starts with it's about when Mojo, the Powerpuff Girls, and every other villain you've ever seen in the show are after this key to the world. Now, with the key to the world comes the fact that you get to rule the world when you have the key, which is the most stupidest thing ever. The tempo of the episode is sped up, like really sped up, like it's a lot of energy. But the thing is, you have all the original characters. Also, you get to see a sad side of Mojo because you get to, and also surprisingly, Mojo has a good singing voice. Because Mojo has a good singing and thing, and with Powerpuff Girls Rule, you get to see one last hurrah with all the girls and their original voice actresses, and you get to see a show ending. The only caveat is that the thing was made in Flash animation, but you know what? It actually pulls off the Flash animation really well. It doesn't feel cringy, it doesn't feel out of place, it actually flows well, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't feel like they pushed it too far, unlike Teen Titans Go or like, they knew, Craig McCracken knew what he was doing when he wanted a final episode. So he actually capitalized on that rather than just leaving everyone in the dark. Get to see all your favorite villains try to get the key, and then Mojo, surprisingly, you want to know the twist? is that Mojo actually used the key to fix the world's problems. He didn't use it for any malicious things. Even the Powerpuff Girls were like, what the fuck? Why would you do this? Now, with Powerpuff Girls rule, it was obvious that Craig McCracken wanted to stop there. He just did this for the anniversary of his show. He didn't do it because he liked the network anymore. Because after that, he was just gone. And then Foster's was gone. And then, what do you know? Craig McCracken went on to do Wander for Over Yonder later on.
Yeah, yeah, he left Cartoon Network after Foster's from Imaginary Friends ended production. So, yeah, pretty much that the special Powerpuff Girls rules,
That,
and the last episode of Foster's was like just Craig McCarthy's just last things before he left.
yeah, the last thing before he left. And honestly, I think the Powerpuff Girls rule is perfectly acceptable as a one-off special. However, that was not the only one-off special that they did. What they're gonna do, what they did with the one-off special next was interesting. Anyone feel like dancing? Anyone feel like eating broccolini? Let's talk about Dance Pants.
Oh yeah, by the way, they actually the original. This is the last. This is the final time they used the original
Yeah, this is the
voice
final.
actresses.
Now, here's the thing about Dance Pants. It's got a gigantically different style. It feels like a mix between 2D and 3D drawn. Like there's I feel like some of the characters are made in CG and some of them aren't. But like some of them are flat, some of them are more rounded, like a CG character would, like Fanboy or something. But the thing is, Dance Pants is a straightforward episode. So like the girls keep referencing broccolini, and the thing is, broccolini is broccolini, and the girls. It's about the girls, Mojo getting an idea of how to control the girls through dance, through Dance Dance Revolution, as the girls try to play the damn thing on their Wii. And just like Powerpuff Girls rule, the tempo is sped up, meaning that everything goes by a lot faster than a normal Powerpuff Girls episode. So sometimes you miss a few things. And I remember the commercial saying it's a cool new spin on a classic formula. And yes, it is, fellow. And they have the original narrator, they have Miss Bellum, like they have. And basically, it ends with the Powerpuff Girls as robots versus Professor, the Mayor, and Miss Bellum in a dance-off. And if you ever wanted to see Miss Bellum in dancing workout clothes, this is your episode for you. So you perverts. Now we have to not delay anything. I'm gonna say some good things about Dance Pants and the original show and Powerpuff Girls rule before we move on to our gigantic finale topic. Now, even the worst Dance Pants I can accept in the fact that they have the original voice actors. Powerpuff Girls rule can I accept that they actually told an interesting finale story. Even the worst episodes of the original, like Sunscreen, where the girls get sunburned, and Girls Gone Mild, where nothing happens. Even yeah, even those episodes I can respect because they were from the original show. No one was asking for this ever. What we're going to talk about for the finale. If you don't know what we're talking about the Powerpuff Girls 2016 reboot. Da 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 da! The city of. Oh wait, that guy doesn't exist anymore. Okay, we got a long list to talk about that I'm gonna spell off. Okay, so there are certain things about the show that instantly come to mind. Let's talk about the first thing, the absence of Miss Bellum. Because, yes, Miss Bellum's not here. And what Cartoon Network said about her is she's not part of the message that we want to talk about. And Miss Bellum not being part of the message of the top. Well, Powerpuff Girls, what is the message you're going to tell us about in this reboot that's not related to Miss Bellum? Miss Bellum was one of the smartest characters in the original. Like the joke was she looks sexy, but she's actually super smart. Her name's Sarah Bellum. Did you actually watch the original? Second thing I'm going to talk about is the absence of the narrator. What most people don't get is the narrator was actually a real part of the original show. He was not just a voice, he was an actual character. They had a whole episode called Simeon Says where Mojo kidnaps the narrator and takes his place. Like that's not excusable. Literally they killed off an actual character by killing off the narrator. And yet they still have Tom Kenny in the show as for the mayor. Third thing I'm gonna mention. Here's the time for the rants. Incompetence of the villains and characters who did make it. Let's start with the girls themselves. Horrible. Now, there's first thing I'm gonna have to talk about. The girls' original voice actors didn't come back. Everyone knows that by now. The issue with the girls not coming back is twofold. One, Blossom doesn't sound like Blossom. She sounds like that girl that you want to punch because she keeps talking. Bubbles doesn't sound cute anymore. She sounds like that girl on the internet that you think is cute. She sounds like a cute YouTuber that you wouldn't think is cute. Then Buttercup just sounds like an actual boy. She doesn't sound like a tomboy. She sounds like an actual boy.
What a fail.
Yeah, and now we're gonna talk about the professor. Oh God, the professor.
Tom Kane's still in the show though, but
Yeah, the thing about Tom Kane in the show is that you know what they did to the professor? Like one of the most perfect dad characters of all time. They turned him into the idiot dad trope. Literally. He's like Peter Griffin in a lab coat. That's
yeah.
how
So
bad he turned into.
so yeah, like the voice of Bubbles doesn't really sound very girly. It sounds just like a teen,
Now,
preteen slash teen.
yeah.
Like it's voiced by. It was back when the show was in production. It was voiced by a 14-year-old.
Oh my God. Oh shit. And now we talk about the girls, and we have to talk about the three villains that actually did come back. We gotta talk about Mojo. Mojo went from being one of the most diabolical science monkeys ever to just a villain who's in almost every episode because he's Mojo. And
What about him?
him was in 5 episodes. Only 5 out of 120. And him, in 2 of them, he didn't even do anything. He just appeared at the end saying that, oh, it was me the whole time. In the 3 he did appear were Electric Buttercup, which was a rock opera thing. Our Brand is Chaos, where Bubbles and sold bubble cups, butters. And
So this is the first season of the reboot, right?
No, there were 3 seasons, Tonyo. And thank God there were only 3, but it's just like this is such a horrendous topic. The problem is that him is all powerful. Him was literally the baddest villain the Powerpuff Girl ever faced. And you just push him to the side. Now we have to talk about the one other villain that got one of the most spotlights. Princess.
Yeah.
Princess.
Oh yeah,
Warbucks.
Princess.
Thing about Princess is that she's gone from being like the annoying brat that you love to see her ass kicked to just some social media junkie with a gigantic rich entourage. Now, there is one villain that should have made it in. One villain that actually had a gigantic presence in the original. Fuzzy Lumpkins. You want to know how the original villains? The Amoeba Boys had 1 episode out of 120.
What about the green dudes?
The Grand Green Grain, they had one episode. One.
Wow.
And that's how aside they were. And it wasn't even a good episode.
Yeah. Speaking
one,
of bad episodes,
the one
they did a crossover with a horrendous show too. I will talk about it
Teen
later, but
Titans Go, but yeah, that one really isn't important to the grand scheme of things. But the problem, you want to know how many episodes Fuzzy got? 0. He was
they
never
just
more than a back.
yeah.
You
It
want to
could be
know?
because Jim Cummings was working on Disney or something, but
Fuzzy was my favorite villain in the original. That's why I made a YTP about him.
yeah, there could be a reason why. They try to hire They try to hire Jim Cummings to come back, but Jim Cummings was like, "Nope, I'm busy. I'm doing Disney stuff."
And it's sad to see your favorite villain never appear again. But yet, I hated Princess Mode, and I loved him. Him was a terrifying villain. And okay, speaking of villains, we have to talk. I have to mention I'm not going to mention every one-off villain, but I'm going to mention the villains that actually had more than one episode. So, buckle in. Let's talk about the villain everyone first met when they saw the reboot on YouTube a month before it premiered on Cartoon Network. Man Boy. Now, here's the thing about Man Boy. He is stereotype 101 for the manliness, toughness character. Boy of brawn. Like, he had 4 episodes to Man Boy's name. Like, and the thing about Man Boy is not interesting. Man Boy is a stereotype. Man Boy, the only thing he has is a beard that can grab onto things. And he's a lumberjack. Like, if that doesn't scream a stereotype in some way, then Man Boy is he's a boy that acts like a man. Now you're a man! Man. Okay, now we have to talk about, like, one of the only other serious villain that the Powerpuff Girls had in the show besides, I don't like him. Silico. Now, what Silico is he is a being that exists inside social media and has control over the entire internet, and he talks like a nerdy voice. And the thing about Silico is actually menacing in the fact, but the problem is, it's a goofy show, so Silico has to do fucked up things just to try and get the girl's attention. And Silico is wasted potential is what he is. He could have been superiorly menacing, just like him. But no, it's comedy show, so we have to water him down just a teeny bit. And then speaking of watered down villains, here's the 2 villains that appeared in the episode Bye Bye Bellum. The Fashionistas. Bianca and Barbaros. Oh my god, they're also stereotyped. Bianca is literally just fashion, and Barbaros, she's just a gorilla. In fact, she exists just to be a gorilla. Like, we need another monkey villain. We need another ape villain, is what I meant to say. And these gals had multiple episodes because we need female villains. And Bianca's got just as big as hips as Miss Bellum did. So, what's your point, reboot? Why do you need to get rid of Miss Bellum, but then you have a villain with bigger hips? Dare I say, thick. And they had a whole 22-minute episode where Mojo fell in love with Barbaros. Like, the more I dive into this, the more I'm gonna kick myself in the morning. I'm gonna gloss over a villain named Packrat. He had 2 episodes. That's it. He liked shiny things. Moving on. Then there was Pug-Faced Collie, a dog villain. Whatever animal villain do we have in the Powerpuff Girls? Oh yeah, the cat. He's literally a ripoff of the Catman Do episode of the original, where it was a cat who controlled the professor's mind. It's just literally mob boss, but dogs. Because shows like that need a mob boss. Then there's Jemica, who's basically this mummy lady that's revealed in the 3rd season and Indiana Jones ripoff. Because yes, we need Jimmy, Indiana Jones ripoffs in the Powerpuff Girls. Now we need to talk about the Amoeba Boy of the new Powerpuff Girls, or no, it's just one character. His name's the Gnat, or Jared, or Derek, or Carlton. Like, the joke about the Gnat is they never remember his name, and he's an incompetent villain just like the Amoeba Boys, except the Amoeba Boys only got one episode, and it was the episode where Silico got introduced in, and fuck the Gnat. Like, he's literally one note. I can't do anything, and why don't you remember my name? Also, he disguised himself as a salamander in one episode, in a big tension episode. Now, we need to talk about a very serious villain. Allegro. If you don't know who Lorego is, he's the panda that made the Powerpuff Girls twerk. Allegro is an anomaly among villains. He looks like Panda from We Bare Bears. Also, he's literally just, he's got the power and imagination and dimension twisting of him, but the incompetence of the Amoeba Boys. So imagine if him and the Amoeba Boys were put in a blender. That's when you get him. You get that's when you get Allegro. And the funny thing is, in the season 3, it was revealed that Allegro is not just one character. He's half of a whole character. As we talk about the episode Largo. Like, really? You wait this long. You don't even feature him in season 2. You show him 2 times in season 1, and then you reveal, like, oh, this twerking panda abomination is actually is half of a whole. Way to delay your character development till the last minute reboot. And this is the last main villain I'm going to talk about. His name's Lester Van Lester. The only reason I'm mentioning him at all is because he was in an hour-long special called Small World. And apparently he shrunk the city of Townsville and kept it for himself. Also, he's played by the blue guy from Chowder. You know, the blue guy he has a big nose. I don't know who he is because I never really watched Chowder. You guys know what he is? So Lester on Lester is basically bland. Villain takes over the entire universe guy. It could have easily been either him or Allegro if they really wanted to have that type of plot. Speaking of it, it should have been fucking him that took over, that stole the entire city of Townsville. Not a new villain. Okay, next topic. Brace yourself. Now we have to talk about miscellaneous. Characters that need to be mentioned briefly or whatever because serious things. Because they appear in more than one episode. Sorry about schedule plot. Annoying character. Next. Barry. Background character that has more personality than any of the 3 girls and has an Illuminati shirt. Next. The Derby Taunts. Literally just a bunch of roller skating girls that led by a leader with pink hair. Never heard that one before. Next. Jared Shapiro. Oh god, that's not funny. Oh, if you don't know about the show, there's a lot of self-insert. A lot of self-insert gags where apparently they self-insert one of them as, like, this Blossom's love interest, who's a one-dimensional nerd that shouldn't exist. But Jared Fogle from Subway. Oh god, Then there's Bubbles' best friend in the show. Which is a spoiler for next week's show, Donnie the Unicorn. because Horn Sweet Horn didn't have enough controversy around it. You know, it's like Donnie the Unicorn. They needed unicorns in the Powerpuff Girls reboot because we needed more girl things. So we had a whole ripoff of the My Little Pony universe, which is basically next episode. So stick tuned. Now we have to talk about the final of the finals. Yes, this thing gets Eric the Red. She was a Viking, and fuck it, glossing over that one. Next up, the final part. The atrocious special that caught many people's eye, that ruined the Powerpuff Girls forever for a lot of people. The Power of Four. Let's talk about Bliss, shall we? Bliss, the fucking Powerpuff Girl, the fourth Powerpuff Girl, because Bunny doesn't exist. It never did exist. And the Power 4 was actually the only good appearance of him. Because apparently he was he's her elephant in disguise. Franchise ruining aspects of the show. It's basically, they said that Bliss came 10 years before, which means that Bliss was the original Powerpuff Girl. But apparently the professor was being selfish, and instead of making the perfect look, he wanted to create a girl to face another professor in a competition. Where did we heard that before? Oh yeah, the episode Knock It Off from the original Dick Hardly. So basically, Bliss is a Mary Sue that should have never existed, and is currently haunting me at this very moment. Now I need help. Please help me, please. Okay. Conclusion of the 3 seasons is that the 3 seasons shouldn't have existed. It seriously needed to be rethought. Did you know that Craig McCracken had no input at all with this entire show? And that's not surprising.
Yeah. Also, they're making a live action remake, I believe, apparently on CW.
Yeah.
Without Craig McCracken's involvement as well, like they're like they don't care. Whatever they want to do, Power Girls, they just don't want to, tell Craig McCracken about it.
Here's the thing about yeah, like after all, Craig McCracken did give the rights for Powerpuff Girls Z, which we're not going to talk about. Now, then the show as a whole, it's just garbage in a different way than Teen Titans Go. I'm going to make a bunch of comparisons now before we end this. Teen Titans Go is better than this show in a way, even though the crossover showed that the Powerpuff Girls are way better characters than these guys ever will be, which is true in a vacuum. In the grand scheme of things, Teen Titans Go comes out on top for one reason. For a few reasons actually. For one, this show doesn't have an identity. It never had an identity except for one thing. It's the Powerpuff Girls, and they're back. That's the only identity this show ever had. Characters were never fleshed out. There was just new characters were never given identities. You could literally take the Powerpuff Girl characters out of the show, add new ones, and this could be an entirely different show. A new superhero show. And it would have fit more better. And so at this point, I have to mention that. Come on, Bobby, think of it up. The show as a whole. So, because there was no identity of the original Powerpuff Girls, plots always went all over the place, reusing from the original, reusing plots that have done a million times before, like blatantly copying previous episodes. It was a mess through and through, and people thought it wouldn't last the first season. But even in the second and third season, they just kept repeating and repeating. Every episode was its own series, pretty much. Because character learned something, and you know how Family Guy is they learn something in one episode, but then they immediately forget it in the next. Do you know how that feels? Literally, that's the entire show. Every time a character learns something in one episode, they forget it the next and are back to their jerkish
Oh,
shelves.
yeah. Just imagine if Nick was like, "Oh my god, the Powerpuff Girls reboot is way funnier than the original." Like, what? Just like how he says how the new Family Guy episodes are way funnier
He
than
was
the old
not.
ones.
Want to know what happened? I actually showed him an episode. He was gawking at it the entire 11 minutes. So that wouldn't happen, Tonyo. Now,
Why? What
so
happened?
and not to mention all those stupid faces they made the girls made. Oh my god, I have nightmares of those faces. Literally 2-frame animation, big jump.
I remember Ace did a reference to that in this Charmix poop. Bubbles' horrendous face.
Yeah, no me gusta. Yeah, I know that. That's not even the no me gusta face. That's a face of a different meme called no. Like that's not the same face. Like
Oh yeah, the big with the long nose and with the little
and
eyes. My God, that's still disturbing.
Tonio, there are worse faces in the show. There's literally a face where Blossom does the anime eyes when they're all white, and there's a face where where Blossom does a rape face. Then there's one where
Oh
it's
my
literally
God.
frames of animation with Buttercup. Then there's one where it's literally creepy pasta material faces.
So
Like
basically, how SpongeBob it is right now when they do some face.
it's like face freeze the entire show.
Yeah. Like, just
Imagine,
imagine. I would see Gandhi Tarkovsky also work in the show too, and other ex creators of the original series be like, "What the hell is this?"
you know what would be interesting? You know what that actually makes me think. Like, there's one episode that would have been perfect for the show. They actually rip off face freeze, where they get stuck in a horrendous face with their round heads. But
Yeah, like I
no,
get. Yeah, I
the,
get. Yeah, I see.
the
Like, I
show
believe. Yeah, go ahead.
the show wasn't smart enough to think of that when creating it. They just wanted to create
Yeah,
horrific
like
visuals.
I said, I want to see how the ex production team of the original series would be like. Like, what the hell is this monstrosity? They just ruined all the stuff we did in the past. Now they're gonna make it worse.
Here's the thing. They had two writers throughout the entire show. Two writers had to
Let
write
me
the
guess, some
whole.
Cartoon Network writers.
Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? One of the directors was the guy who made Wow Wow Wubsy,
Wow.
Bob Doyle. Now, thing about now to end this conclusion, I'm gonna have to make a few more comparisons. Like Teen Titans Go was better because they actually had the regular cast. You want to know what has better writing than this show? Totally Spies. As a man who's seen both shows in full, I can concur. Totally Spies, despite its terrible writing, puts on a better show than this because at least they're not tarnishing the original. Now, this is also the result of company being greedy. Like they only made they made this show to sell toys because people wanted more stuffed animals of the Powerpuff Girls, including me, honestly. But the thing is, the ending product is that you got a terrible show that you kept pushing and pushing, despite no one watching it anymore after, I don't know, like the first 20 episodes. And then you brought him back for the Power of Four just to create controversy. Like, the more I can talk about this show would be the point I'm making is there's just so many things that just crush this show. And I remember DSim saying like the Teen Titans Go may still be going, but they're not made an original show by they're not a reboot that was made by Cartoon Network and like it's not owned Teen Titans Go is not owned by Cartoon Network directly and was a reboot. It's bad that way. This was a reboot based on a Cartoon Network original show. And it does everything that Teen Titans Go did to fuck things up. And it made it worse. Do you know this show actually does have fart jokes? It has everything the Teen Titans Go had, except with the girls. Now, Also, the lack of violence really helps too. Remember the episode Girls Gone Mild? Imagine Girls Gone Mild every episode. On loop. That's the Powerpuff Girls reboot. And that is the end of our Cartoon Network spiel. Butterfly World, I'm sorry that this part was so long. It's just there was a lot to talk about and a lot to do. Maybe when N-Page takes the mantle next week, it'll be a little bit more less draggy, because like he'll know about ponies just like I know about Powerpuff.
Yeah, basically, I guess this is gonna be the departure of Tix's voice for this
Oh,
episode.
God, my voice. That's why I drank an energy drink before I did this.
Yeah, this is gonna be the next episode's not gonna be with Tix narrating. It'll be M Page and later eventually Digi and Zerato.
Yeah, maybe we'll get those pony people in there. Maybe they can set fire to Donnie the Unicorn.
Maybe they can just fill up our spots if they come in because we're not that much experts at the show anyway.
Exactly.
Okay,